Record to the cloud. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Wednesday night team call for Tony Baroni's team. I am one of your hosts, Jackie Lawrence, and then other one is Heather Minnick. Okay, so let me go ahead and present, and Heather will take it away.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming on tonight. As Jackie said, it's our Wednesday night call. Today is October 9th, 2019. Thank you all for coming on. My name is Heather Minnick, and tonight Jackie and I are going to be talking about the growth mindset. So what is growth mindset? It's a term that we hear thrown around often, and I hear it coming up more than I have in the past. So growth mindset is the belief in your capacity to learn and grow. It's a concept that is sweeping the world of sports and education. So it's coming up in schools. Teachers are doing it with their students. Coaches are doing it with their sports teams. So it's a popular thing. And it's all about changing and improving the way we learn and the way we grow. So the opposite of growth mindset would be a fixed mindset. So tonight, Jackie and I are going to talk about the two, and she's going to go ahead and start by explaining a little bit about the fixed mindset.
Yeah, so, well, a lot of times we're either one or the other, but we sometimes will go back and forth between the two. Let's talk more about the fixed mindset right now. When we're looking at a fixed mindset, you're looking at somebody who is just thinking that they are born with certain abilities. They can't change. This is just how they're always going to be. They can't be any better. This is the only thing that they can reach and attain. Their skills and intelligence are set, and you either have them or you don't, and that some people are just naturally good at things while others are not. I've heard people say this a lot in my life. I've even thought this. They believe you are not in control of your abilities. That's one mindset. Then we've got another mindset of people that believe that skills and intelligence are grown and developed. People that are good at something because they built that ability, and the people who aren't are not good because they haven't done the work. In short, they believe you are in control of your abilities. I want you guys to kind of think of some people that weren't successful at the beginning of their life, but because of the growth mindset, they grew and developed those skills or intelligence. Think about Michael Jordan, didn't make his high school basketball team. Okay, think about Steve Jobs, quit college. Thomas Edison, I can't remember the amount of times he failed to find the filament that created the light bulb that would last, but it was like over 1,000 different ways, and then he finally found that one way, and he just kept on going and didn't give up.
Okay. All right. So basically, like she was comparing the two. So with the fixed mindset, their belief or their thinking is that your skills are born. They can't be changed. You can't learn and grow. So just like it's saying, just very fixed. With the growth mindset, the belief is that your skills are built and you can learn and grow. So with coaching, this applies to us as coaches, but also as clients as well. We're all clients, and people who are on plan, it's sometimes they say, well, I'm not in the right mindset. And that's because they're probably having a fixed mindset. So just relate this to like the 5 and 1. They're thinking, oh, I can't do this. I can't lose 10 pounds this month like she did. They're comparing. And that's exactly what a fixed mindset is. So this can go along when we're helping our clients, talking about having a growth mindset that you can learn, you can grow. You just have to be in the right mindset. So it's all about having that growth mindset. And like Jackie said, it's constantly changing. Just 1 minute, 1 day, one event, we can be in a growth mindset, and then something changes. But it's all about, and we're in a fixed mindset, but it's all about being aware of where you're at and being able to adapt and go back and change how you look at things.
Right. And I feel like this also equates to, like, say that some of us as now coaches, we put back on some of the weight, or we've gone back and forth, and we're just like, I don't know why this is tripping us up. Why can't I get past this? It's partly because our fixed mindset. not all the way, but partly because of that. When we're thinking about a growth mindset, we're always thinking about ways that we can better ourselves, we can push ourselves past that. We're thinking of ways that we can reach out. We're taking, and I'll be talking about this in a little bit, but taking criticism and learning from it. This quote we found from LeBron James that was in the New York Post and thought it was just really great. It's always about the growth mindset, he says. That's what us four always talk about, growth mindset. It's the fact that you know that you can get better, even at our age, even with our accolades, even with what we've done in our careers, we still feel like we can improve. It's never giving up, always looking at growing, doing the work, and improving. Okay, so think about this for yourself. I've even thought about this for myself as I was studying this. What are we focused on? Where is our mind at? In a fixed mindset, a person is more likely to focus on performance and how they look. They don't want to look bad in front of others and fail. I put that in quotations because you feel like, oh man, you failed. It's awful. Let's just quit. But you didn't really fail. You found one way of not doing it, right? So they fear failure. We can see this in students, athletes, corporate America, where they don't want to fail in front of others, so they're worried about how they're going to look in front of their presentations, in front of their bosses, things like that, health clients, and even coaches. So I put this question on the end, like, who hasn't had this mindset at least once in their life? I mean, I know I have. In a growth mindset, though, a person tends to focus more on the process of getting better and learning and growing. As I was learning about this, there's like 4 components to a growth mindset, okay? And it's the effort, the challenges, the mistakes that are the opportunities that they have, and then communication and feedback. So when one way they put that growth mindset people move forward is they put forth the effort because they see the value in the effort. Some people won't put forth, like, okay, let's take this for an instance, my old fixed mindset on sports and me being athletic. Oh, I would always say, I'm not athletic. I can't do that. I just don't have the skills. I'm not naturally inclined. And sometimes that mindset still gets to me, but I need to find value that I can put forth the effort and make myself better and not just quit and say, I can't do that. I'm going to embrace the challenge, just like Optavia says in our Hot 6 for transformational leadership. We embrace the challenge as the way, right? And push through them. Mistakes are just learning opportunities. If we, some of us are new on here and some of us are seasoned coaches, but if we think back to the very beginning of when we first started coaching, we didn't know it all. We were making mistakes. Maybe not be the best coach that we or the same coach that we were then as we are now. Because when we make mistakes, we learn from them. And you're not offended by feedback. It's hard to take sometimes. It's hard pill to swallow when you think that you're doing things okay or even great. But then when someone comes in and says, hey, maybe you should try things this way, maybe it'll be better. So instead, they appreciate that and they use that feedback and grow from it.
Okay, so what can I say to myself? So on the left, I have listed some things that would be considered what you would say or think if you have a fixed mindset. And then directly across from it in the same color is what you can try to think or say to yourself instead to try and shift your mindset to a growth mindset. As I was creating this slide, I was thinking a lot about not just coaching, but with the students in my classroom. They're little ones and they often get frustrated and they have a fixed mindset and feel like giving up when they can't do things. So on the first one, instead of saying, I'm not good at this, you can try thinking, what am I missing? So constantly trying to grow yourself and not just put yourself down, but figure out, yes, you may not be good at what you're doing, but what are you missing to make yourself better? How can you make yourself be better than you are? The second one says, I give up. Instead of saying that, you can say, I'll use some of the tools I learned to help me get there. So same type of thing. What can I do to help me get to where I want to be instead of thinking that you're just going to give up? The next one is thinking that this is too hard. Same things. Instead of being so negative, you can think this may take some time and effort. So yes, it is hard. We do things that are hard every day, but some things just take some more time and effort. So thinking about it that way is more of a growth mindset aspect of looking at things. The next one, comparing yourself to others. So this can go for students in the classroom, comparing yourself with coaching, to comparing yourself to other coaches. We've all done it. They got there so fast. How did they get there? And I'm still here. Or she's so smart. I will never be as smart enough to do that. You can try thinking, I'm going to figure out how she does it so I can try it too. So instead of just being so negative and comparing yourself, you can say to yourself, well, I'm going to figure out how she did it and I'm going to try doing it too, because we're all capable. Like they said, fixed mindset. They believe that the skills, you're born with it, but that's not true. Those skills they learned and they grew those skills. So you just need to figure out how they did it also. And the next one says, I'm upset because I didn't reach my goal. And that can go for anything. We've all thought it before, whether it's with coaching, whether it's with our own health journey, our own weight loss. You may have not reached your goal. So instead of getting down about it, just think with a growth mindset and ask yourself, what can I do differently next month to get me closer to my goal? There's something that I know Jamil has done tons of trainings on growth mindset, and something that he said has always stuck out for me. And I think he heard it from Karen Elstrom, how he says, how is that thought serving you? So if you have a negative thought, ask yourself, stop and think, well, is this thought serving me? And if it's not, then just get rid of it. Or how can this thought serve me? So how can you change your thinking to let it serve you? That's a part of the growth mindset also. And then the next slide says being coachable. So being coachable would be having a growth mindset. Sometimes we let our ego get in the way of having a growth mindset. So I know Jackie touched a little bit on that about constructive criticism, and if we get consumed by what we don't want to do because it takes us out of our comfort zone, then that's one of the best times to ask ourselves, am I truly coachable? Mm-hmm. And on the right where it says being coachable, if you're not coachable, which means you have a fixed mindset, a person who only takes action on their own and will not take the advice of a coach. So, we're all coaches. We work with coaches all the time. So everyone has great advice. So taking that advice from others and really running with it and doing something with it. If you're selectively coachable, a person who only takes action when they agree with their coach. So they're selecting when they want to be coachable. Mm-hmm. And then reluctantly coachable, a person who will take action from their coach in spite of their doubts or distrust. So you may not trust or have doubts about it, but you're still going to try and run with it and go with it and have that growth mindset. And then when you're completely coachable, a person who takes action completely in the coaching process. So there's different, categories. And like we said earlier, it's going to change all the time, depending on events and personal stuff in our life. Our mindset constantly changes. When we learn to recognize these moments and are open, we learn and we gain more awareness and being able to shift these behaviors and grow through what we go through.
Yeah, and I want you guys to think about, where you're at. I have at times been reluctant coachable for Sarah. Just this past time when we did my math call, she suggested something and I was like, oh, I don't want to do it because I've been kind of in a funky space in my head. But I went ahead and did what she's asked, and I've had so many things happen from it that I'll talk to her about. So like a lot of conversations and reconnections and people that want to restart and stuff like that is basically where I was at for there. And if I didn't take her advice, I might not be where I'm at right now this month and how I feel about coaching right now. So that was great. Let's see. Yeah, we're right here now. Okay, so I wanted to go ahead and give you guys lots of resources if you're really interested in learning about the growth mindset and building that within yourself. because in the past you've had a fixed mindset, or you're wanting to grow from switching back and forth as much because you're wanting to sustain it and then end up modeling it with your teams as you're growing into the leader that you want to become, okay? Or into the coach that you want to become for your clients. I found this podcast, okay? It's all under the Learner Lab. There's also a couple others, and I'll post those in our group. There are several, okay, books. Whoops. Well, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay, books on the growth mindset. So you can see a lot of these on here, all the different titles. So I wanted to give you a chance to screenshot this if you wanted to. But the main person that's a proponent of this right now in our culture is Dr. Dweck, Carol S. Dweck, right there. Mindset, the New Psychology of Success, how we can learn to fulfill our potential. Look what it says: parenting, business, school, relationships, in any part of your life. You can grab a hold of this. And the people that sometimes are the most successful that we've heard about in history or right now might not have been successful in school or when they were younger, or might have been told certain things about them that weren't true. Like they were dumb, or they'll never succeed, or whatnot. But then they ended up persevering past that and pushing past that because they wanted to grow and become more, and then they learned the skill or the intelligence needed for what they wanted to do. We can do this as well as coaches. You have to ask yourself what you want in this business. If you wanted to stay a small business, that's fine. If you're wanting to grow more, you're going to have to start learning and growing yourself. You can't just sit there and say the same, because you're going to get the same results. Okay, so there's this link for this short survey where it will tell you where you're at on the mindset spectrum if you're unsure, or maybe you kind of already know, but you want to have a starting point in this, and then you can build on it, learn about it, sustain it, and model it. We feel that that's a really important thing to do. Okay. So this last slide, I actually found a child's growth mindset video on YouTube. I was doing a lot of research for this and thinking about it, and it was song lyrics that some person came up with a song. And in the chorus, he says, "You can create and change inside of you. Changing your words will change your mindset." And he said to rhyme it. And then instead of saying "I can't," try saying "I can't yet," because I'm gaining the skills that I need in order to develop the person I want to become. I mean, I'm sure most of us have heard how Jamil's mindset was before Optavia, at the beginning of Optavia, then when he quit and he came back, and all those different changes that he had to go through. An employee mindset, a scarcity mindset, instead of abundance mindset. Try saying "I can't" instead of "I can't yet," okay, until we have grown ourselves and developed ourselves into who we want to become. It's the same way if you're exercising. You're pushing yourself. At first, you might not be able to run, but 30 seconds if you're running. And eventually, if you keep on going, "I can't yet, but I'm going to reach that goal if I keep on pushing past it." I also put these hashtags DTW and DEIA because that's something that the Fraser Paxton group does a lot. Do the work is what it means, and do it anyway. I feel like a lot of times this rings true in my head when I'm fighting against doing the work and doing it anyway. I don't hear it when I'm actually doing the work. I hear it when I'm fighting against it, for me personally, because I am wanting to be fixed. I don't want to change. I don't want to grow. But I know that it's best for me. I just don't look forward to the growing pains that come with it sometimes. That's how we learn, when we fail and change. Okay, so I wanted to go ahead now and open up. Here, let me see. There we go. I wanted to open up this topic to discussion of maybe a challenge that you've gone through with a fixed mindset and how you've moved past it. It doesn't have to be some like anti-psychological thing that you have, came to a revelation. It could just be something that you struggled with moving past, and then you decided to do something else to push past it into the growth mindset part of your brain. If you'd like to share that, you can. We have a few minutes before we are done with our call. Okay, so no one in here has struggled. Awesome. I appreciate that. I'm sure we all are amazing and we've done great. I know personally, I've struggled with a mindset of positivity, being in the education field and then coming home and trying to be that ray of hope and positiveness for my clients and for the coaches that are underneath me. When I've gone through a rough day emotionally with a student who I can't seem to break through to and connect with. And that is a fixed mindset that I need to move past so that I can become more. Anybody else? No? Okay. Well, I appreciate you all being on. And oh, I heard someone come off. Was it Heather?
Yeah, it was me.
Okay. Did you have anything you wanted to add?
No.
Okay. I was going to say, I appreciate you all being on. And I know that there's a team celebration probably still going on for the Fraser group. I was going to see if there were any things that we needed to go ahead and mention or address, like events coming up. I know that the summit's coming up in about 4 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
A month. And several of us are excited to go to that and to grow from that and hopefully come back with a bigger growth mindset for me and my husband as well.
Yeah, in 2 days, it'll officially open up to all executive directors on the 11th. So I strongly suggest, if you haven't signed up for that yet, and you are an executive director or above, that you get the link from your business coach and find out how to do that and start making those plans.
Right.
Really, really fabulous. Plus, I mean, we will be there. So
Yeah, I know that Allison and Mark will be there as well, and Wes and I will be there, and I know Sarah's going to be there, and Tony, and some other people that I'm probably not mentioning. Oh, Lori's going to be there, or Lori has something to say. Lori's going to be there. Yay, Lori, because you were trying to work out plans for that.
Yes, Bobby and I just registered, so he will be there with me.
Oh, yay. I get to have more time with you. I feel like I never have enough time to sit down and just chat, and this is going to be a smaller group. So I'm excited for
I'd like
that.
to suggest this time that we make some specific time that we're going to get together somewhere, and actually whoever wants to be together for even an hour, just to spend some time, because it's hard to coordinate once you're there and all the moving parts. So maybe we could actually, I know Janelle's doing something Wednesday night, right?
I thought it was Wednesday. Isn't it Wednesday at 3, the children thing? Okay. Yeah, and we're flying in at like 3:30 that time, so I'm not going to be able to make that. Right, Sarah? Isn't that what time we're flying in?
I'm not sure. Sometime.
Okay.
We'll be there on Wednesday.
I'm pretty sure Wes, Sarah, and Allison and I, because we're all taking the same departure flight from Oklahoma City, are not going to make it to the children feeding backpack type thing. I can't remember what it's called.
But like, this is a good example. Events are a good example of the growth and fixed mindset. When the first convention came around, is something that I didn't understand, which was my first event. Oh, Mari's going?
Yeah.
Shoot. Mari.
An extra
Sure.
card too.
So I didn't understand how important events were. And I know that other things can sometimes get in our way. And you just have to be careful to not allow those, and just sit down and, talk with your spouse, your significant other, yourself, your business leader, your business coach, figure out what's best for you and your business. And if there's a way for you to go to these events, try and figure that out and map it out, because you will get so much from them and grow yourself, not only as a person, but growing yourself as a person is going to grow your business as well.
Right.
I'm strongly speaking from experience here.
Yeah, well, and I agree so much, Sarah, because I've had the opportunity to go to 2 extra ones that I've qualified for, and I just didn't go. And I was even offered help with sponsoring my trip to get there. I just didn't go. And so this will be my first one. And I'm pretty excited to see what all Carrie Miller and the rest of them have to offer for this business summit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and post some of that stuff that I mentioned on the slides in the coaching site, and it'll also have a link for the survey if you want to take it. Strongly suggest that you share that with your mentor coach. They'll know where you're at if they don't already, and suggest that to your teams as well. I really feel like it's important for us to always continue to grow, even though I get stuck in the fixed mindset myself. But I can see that in students, and I can see that in my coaching team, that once we are open to growing and changing, we take off and we learn. And then, but once we're, fear of failure, we're fearing it, we're stuck and we're not moving forward. And I've been there. No shame in that, but I'm ready to move past that in a more consistent, sustainable way. All right. Okay, well, I'm going to stop the recording, and I'll make sure that it gets posted to the group and on YouTube.